Why is it important to teach kids a biblical worldview in the public school as opposed to taking them out and homeschooling them?
Well, I would say this. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you'll like this answer. I mean, I think that I think that public school is optional. Meaning, if you don't want to send your kids to public school, don't send your kids to public school. You know, if you want to homeschool your children, by all means, if you have the means, and go for it. If you want to send your kid to private school, go for that. If you want to keep your kid in homeschool, I'm sorry, in public school, then do that. So I'm very much, kind of libertarian in that regard. Like, let people do whatever works for their family. But I am not neutral when it comes to when I talk to Christians about engaging with their local public school. I think everybody needs to be engaged because they're not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not calling for the end of public schools, but even for those who are calling for the end of public schools, I would want to say to them, okay, but they're not going anywhere anytime, real soon. So you need to engage. That's the future of your community. And so we have a lot of homeschool families, private school families who are behind the LifeWise movement, who are engaged, who are funding it or serving, in part because as they've removed their child, for homeschool or whatever, they feel a certain amount of responsibility. Hey, that's still my community. I still want to engage. Why is it important for the public school students to receive it? Well, it's the most important thing they can possibly be taught. It's the Word of God. I mean, sure, math is important. Sure, history is important. Sure, biology is important. Sure, but not compared to the Word of God. And so that is the hub of the entire worldview wheel. All the spokes of history class and science class and all of that, those are all just spokes, but the worldview of grounded in the Word of God is the most critical piece.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let the free market, as much as it can work, do what it does. If people, want to take them out of public schools and homeschool your kids, fantastic. Do what you do. I do agree with the fact that although we can't, even if we do that, we can't really abandon the public schools because oftentimes, right, the children who go to them who maybe can't afford to, or they don't have parents that can homeschool, the only chance they'll ever hear the gospel might be in public schools, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we talk about the public schools as a mission field all the time, and yeah, we are kind of always a both and type of organization and thinkers, and I think that people say, do you share the gospel with the adult or with the kids? Like, well, that's the wrong question. The answer is both, right? Like, you share the gospel with everybody, and private school or homeschool or public school, it's you pick, but let's share the gospel and let's minister to everyone.